Hey YouTube, today we are going to be making the best macaroni and cheese that you have ever had in your life. So stay tuned, it's going to be delicious, decadent, and it's a pretty simple recipe. So we're going to start with our cooked noodles. I cooked the noodles according to the package directions, but actually I cooked them a little bit longer because I don't like my noodles and my macaroni and cheese to be al dente. I like them to be a little softer than that. But feel free, whatever your preference is would be how long you want to cook them. Then we're going to go in with some cold water to rinse off some of the starchiness and also to cool the noodles down because now we want to stop the cooking process. All right, so in this bowl is where the magic is about to happen. All right, so we're going to put the noodles in a bowl, and then you are going to season the noodles. It is very important to season your noodles for macaroni and cheese. There's nothing like having good cheese, good creaminess, good everything, and it's bland. So you definitely want to season the noodles. So first I went in with some kosher salt, and now I'm adding some black pepper. And just a side note, I did not salt my water when I boiled the noodles. And then I'm using some Slap Your Mama, which if you've never had it, it's kind of like Lawry's, but to me it's better. It has a little more flavor. Then some garlic powder and some onion powder. And I typically season my stuff in the same order, so I already kind of know what's next. Then we're going in with some Badia Complete seasoning. That's very good if you've never tried it. Then we're just going to go ahead and give that a good mix. You want to get all the seasoning on all of the noodles as much as possible. And then when you have the opportunity to taste as you cook, obviously you can't do that like with raw meat or anything, but something like this, you can taste it as you go. So I am going to take a noodle and taste it for seasoning because you can always add more, but you can't take away. So if you put too much seasoning, it's a lot harder to fix that rather than just adding a little bit more. So again, you want to just give that a good mix all around. And I'm going to taste it again, and I think I just about got it right. So I think now I'm going to go in with my sour cream. That's probably about 2 tablespoons. And sour cream just helps make it creamy. And you want to make sure and mix that well. You don't want clumps of sour cream. Next, we're going in with the cheese. So this is Gouda cheese. I just started using this in my mac and cheese probably within the last year, and it's like the best. I don't know, I can't describe what the flavor is, but it just gives it a good flavor. So you can Google what flavor Gouda has, in your food, but I just know once I started using it, I've been making the best mac and cheese ever. So I started with Gouda, and then of course some mozzarella. Mozzarella is a real soft cheese that'll help make it creamy. And then of course the sharp cheddar. Now, some people choose to use a block of cheese and shred it, and that is a great idea if you have the time and if you want to put the work in. But everybody doesn't have the time or feel like doing that all the time. And there are certain cheeses, certain shredded cheeses that are better than others. I think that Sargento is the best shredded cheese that you can get. It tastes more off the block than some of your other cheaper shredded cheeses. So I try to get Sargento when I can. And then as far as cheese goes, you can use whatever cheese you like. Sometimes I just use whatever is left in the fridge. Of course, I always do my sharp cheddar, mozzarella. If I don't have Gouda, I'll use something else. But, when I'm going to the store specifically to make mac, I will get Gouda. But you could throw in Parmesan cheese, hot pepper cheese, whatever kind of cheese you like. It's your macaroni and cheese. And I was talking, I think I missed that I put in some whipping cream. You can use heavy whipping cream or just regular whipping cream. That is one of the secrets to a really good macaroni and cheese. It makes it so creamy and delicious. It's like the bomb. I will never make macaroni and cheese again without using heavy whipping cream. And then, of course, I also use some whole milk. So here I think I decided I needed to, well, not needed to, but I was just going to go ahead and use some more mozzarella. I reserve a little bit of mozzarella and a little bit of the cheddar cheese to put on the top. Some people make a roux for their macaroni and cheese. I don't. And with this recipe, it's actually not needed because it's so creamy and cheesy that it's not necessary to make a sauce when you have this recipe. When you use my recipe, it's not needed. And you'll see that at the end. So yeah, we're just gonna add 3 eggs and we're gonna make sure that that is very well combined. And that's also a reason you want to make sure that the noodles are cooled off, because you don't want to put eggs in a hot dish to mix it up, because then you're going to have scrambled eggs in your dish. So we're just going to give this a really good mix. Add a little more black pepper. And mix, mix, mix. You want to make sure that everything is well combined. The ancestors were telling me that I needed a little bit more seasoning, so I do what they tell me to do when it comes to cooking. You know how you just get a nudge and says, add a little bit more of this. So I listen. But I cannot make this video without giving a big shout out to my mom for giving me an excellent base for making macaroni and cheese. She makes really good macaroni and cheese, and I took her recipe and just kind of extended a little bit. I remember my husband used to say, you know, your mac is good, but it's not as good as your mom's. Well, even my mom will tell you today that my mac is better than hers. So thanks, Mom, for giving me a base, but this is the 2021 version. So then I just took a casserole dish and I sprayed it with some cooking spray so that the mac doesn't stick to the pan. And then we're just gonna get that in there and flatten it all out, even it all out. And now we're gonna add some butter to it. And I'm just gonna take a stick of butter and put little pats of butter throughout the dish. Not too much, because I have done too much and it comes out a little bit too greasy. So you don't want to use too much. I'm sorry, I can't tell you exactly how much, but if you just look at the video, you can see about how much to use. And I think what I am missing in this video is after I was all done, I forgot to show that I put cheese on top. So just know that after I did everything, before I put it in the oven, I did take the remainder of that sharp cheddar and the mozzarella and just sprinkled it on top. And then when everything is all said and done, you're gonna sprinkle some paprika on it. The paprika will help give it color. And then this way it will have the color without you having to overcook it. And here she is, the Mac of all Macs. Hot, bubbly, golden brown on top, ready for any event. Your guests will love you for making this Mac. So we're gonna let it rest for a few minutes and then we are gonna dig right into it and you are gonna see it makes its own sauce. Look at that, juicy, creamy. You don't need a roux when you do it like this. Just awesome. The best mac you will ever make, trust me. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of parsley flakes and garnish it, make it nice and presentable and pretty. And there you have it, the best mac you will ever have. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment.